Hello and g'day. Today we're going to be making a vintage alphabet stamp. My name's Donna and this is a DIY stamp. Now you can see it's cardboard, so it's nothing really spectacular. Normally we would see our stamps on these acrylic blocks. You can use an acrylic block if you've got tons of them. I've got a box full of them. But I wanted to show you that you can make the same stamp using cardboard. Well, using cardboard for a backing, I should say. And I've hand drawn these alphabet letters for you. Now they're perfect to give your pages a little bit of something. They are in capitals. They're mostly used for decoration, so they don't need to make any sense whatsoever. Just have a look at the slideshow at the end of the video and you'll see what I mean. So they're perfect for pages, tags, pockets, and just to give that personal look in any colour. They look really good. The great thing about them is that you can cut them out roughly. Right, I've drawn these up very roughly. They're not perfect lines, and you can see here when by the time they get to the foam they're even rougher. So that's the whole idea of them, that they don't look neat. So you don't have to be a good cutter-outerer, just cut them out, you know, like cut them out. Don't have to be neat at all. So I've already done this one here just to show you, so you can see that the cardboard, I'll show you. I've used cardboard. Now this is just packaging. I bought a new keyboard for my computer and it's just normal cardboard. It's not very thick. So what I've done is I've cut out two pieces. I cut it out in a strip and then I glued those two pieces together. And that gives me a piece like this. The idea of it is so that you can hold it in your fingers. So two is better because it gives you something to hold on to so you can stamp. So if you've got enough cardboard, use two layers, two thicknesses. The other thing that I've used to create my stamp is just this foam sheeting. This foam sheeting is available everywhere. I know in Australia we've got it at Spotlight and the Craft Riot Art and places like that, but I'm pretty sure you do overseas, girls can get it in most of your craft shops. And what also I've used is this double-sided foam. It's adhesive on both sides and I've used that with this. So I peel off one strip of one side, and just so that I know I've got some extra strength, I use my wet glue and put a little bit more glue on it. It's quite sticky. I think it would hold onto this foam quite well without me adding the glue, but I just like to make sure nothing I make falls apart. And then using the sticky side, adhere that to this piece of foam sheet. All right, so now I've got a double thickness. Now what I've also done here is I've marked the word bottom on the bottom of the letters because they're in reverse, and you need to have them in reverse on your stamp so that when you turn it over, they actually stamp the right way up. If I had that the other way around, when I turn it over, it would be back to front. So I've already mirrored it. So you just got to check that the word bottom is at the bottom of your letter and you know it's the right way. That's the way you've got to trace it on here. Right, now this is what I mean. When you go to put your letter on here, you need to know that you're facing this the right way. You've cut out your letter C, you've distressed it, and you're ready to glue it on there, you go, oh, do I glue it that way or do I glue it that way? Now your mind will keep telling you, you got to glue it that way because that's the way you're used to seeing it. But we've got to reverse it. It's got to be in reverse. So look at the template, sit it back on there, and that's the way it's got to be glued down on your backing. And that's how you make your stamp. Then I get my alphabet letter and trace it out. So you can do this with a marker or you can do it with a pencil. All right, now we come in, and I'm not taking a whole lot of care there. I am. This is a very sharp knife, and I'm just going to take my time and cut around here. When I come into the corner of the B, I'm going to stop and come back around and come the other way and cut that out that way. Then I'll come back around here, and I'm just taking my time and shimmying it around to come around the corner. And it doesn't matter if those cuts are jagged. Instead of coming back in with the knife now, I'm going to finish it with the scissors, because I only needed to come and cut through the rest of that backing. Now see how it's all rough? Leave it like that. Don't try and clean that up. Just leave it. Cut down to the back of the B and then turn it around, do the other side. The same on the other one, turn it around. So you're starting at the ends and you're bringing your cut back into the center. That way you don't overcut up into here. Just cut a little bit at a time, turn it, cut it, turn it, cut it, turn it, cut it. Try not to let it slip. I'm just turning my work as I'm cutting. I'm going to stop there and I'm going to come back the other way so I don't overcut that mark. And I'll pop that out. I'm not worried about these little furry bits at the back, and I'll do the same here. You can see it doesn't take very long to make us a stamp. If you only wanted one letter, it's really not going to take you very long to make. Turn it around and bring that back the other way. I'm pushing down firm enough so that it goes down into the mat and cuts all the way through. See how rough that is? Right, now I know that I want the bottom to be at the bottom. So I've got my cardboard glued together. This is a piece I made earlier. So I'm going to take the backing off and put a little extra glue on that as well. I'm using the art glitter glue. It's quite strong. Now I'm going to place it. You'll notice on this one here I've placed it up 1 centimetre. So it's up 1 centimetre from the bottom. I'm going to do the same on this one, and that way I'll know that if I do want to put my letters in a row, that they are going to fall in the same place. So just making sure I've got my letter the right way around. I'll centre that up and pop it on there, so that if I need to write the word baby, I'll put that there and I'll put that there. I know the bottom and those letters are going to fall in the same place. Now what I'm also going to do is what I've done to these. I've marked the bottom on the other side, and I've used my template to now come along, and this time I'm going to put it the right way around so that when I do it like that, I can see that it is the letter A, B, C when I'm using it as a stamp. So I'll just put a little bit of glue on there and I'll line it up with the line so that I can see exactly where it's going to fall when I go to use it. Or as close as it can be anyway, because I'm not going to go measuring it everywhere. Just close enough is good enough, because we want it to look vintage. We want it to look a little bit rough. I haven't designed this to be a neat, tidy stamp. Right, now you see how that one's all distressed, and this one is only partially distressed from where I cut it out roughly. What you can do is you can use your knife, you can use your scissors, and you can use your pokey tool. Okay, so starting off with your knife, just dig in some pieces, flick them out here and there. You can get your scissors and just cut a little bit off the edge. Take the corner right off the side there. Snip in and cut a bit of a V. Snip into here. And cut the whole snipped area out. Snip off some edges. And get that fairly distressed. You can actually cut it and leave it hanging on there if you wanted to. See what it looks like. Then get your pokey tool and draw some lines. Some scratch lines. So they're just grunge scratches. So you wouldn't want to go doing too many because it's not a big area. And it will turn out, like if you look at this one, I haven't over scratched it, and look at how effective that is. It gives me a good grunge with the edges also, you know, distressed as well. So you do get quite a good effect from just grunging up it a little bit without overdoing it. So that's it. You've just made your own stamp. See how it's, you know, like far enough away to be able to get a good grip on it to use as a stamp. You could even put a third layer on it if you wanted it. If you had enough of this cardboard, I've got tons of it. So, you know, like I would even put a third layer on it if you had heaps of it, and it would give you something even more to grip onto, because these things here are fairly thick. So the thicker you've got that, the better. Okay, so I'll clear the table up and we'll do some stamping. Right, now I'm back and I'll show you how they work. I've got 3 colours here, so which colour is this? This is a nice sepia colour. These were my mum's stamps, so they're pretty old. I'm not guaranteed that the ink is much good. So I'm just going to use them like normal stamps. Going to ink them up. I might have to really, because they're new, it's like any stamp, you've got to really get the ink into the stamp itself. So I'm not going to clean these stamps. Once I use them, I'm going to leave the ink on them. So I'm going to just use my little bit of foam here. I'll use this as if it's going to be a page, so I know where my placement will be. And I'm just going to go randomly. There's my A. Doesn't that turn out cool? And my B. Make sure I get a fair amount of ink on it. I think if you make these up, you're going to love them. You're going to have a lot of fun with them. You can, you know, if you've got a junk journal that you've made and you've named it pink, for instance, you could write the word pink on one of your tea-dyed pages and put that, make that the first page of your junk journal. Or if you had a friend called Abby Brown, you could put her initials in the book if you were doing a custom order for someone. Overlay them and you get that nice finish as well. So have a go at making these homemade stamps. They're available on my website under the downloads tab. I'm pretty sure you'll get a good effect from them because you can grunge them up exactly the way you want them. I'm Donna. Thanks for watching and bye for now.
My heart is rising, I'm taking it step by step. I'm running and running, I'm not slowing down.